Pearl TV, the voice for humanity.
Hello and welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Politics on Parrot TV. This is your host, Saina Balde. Today's topic, we have trending New York election updates plus New York State affairs. And per usual, we have Anthony Rivieccio joining us, Mr. Robert Press, and we got Dion Powell back. You missed him last week, but he's back today. So they're going to get us caught up in what's happening from borough presidency to the candidates in New York mayoral. So today's the day. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Fairly well.
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Press. How are we today?
Okay. I just came in from the 49th Precinct Council breakfast, so you're going to have to let me catch my breath. I just turned on the computer.
Yeah. What does your breath have to do with any of that?
It was honoring the great officers of the 49th Precinct and the community members who support them.
Did you see the award he got on his lapel?
I didn't hear you, Anthony. You break up.
I said, I love the pin you got that's on your lapel at the 49th Precinct Council meeting.
All right, let's talk mayor's race. Who had Diane Morales? Who had Diane Morales?
I know we missed Dion, and we can't wait to get onto him already. So let's start. Mr. Press, you've already started with let's go with the mayor candidate. What have we been missing? What happened since last week? Catch us up.
I told you last week, Catherine Grayson was the one to watch. Catherine Garcia was the one to watch, and she's moving up. Andrew, what's his name? Yang is dropping because people realize he's got no policy. Scott Stringer is a lost cause because he's nothing but Bill de Blasio light. And Eric Adams is your favorite, and it's between Adams and Garcia now. Anyone else opinion?
I mostly
agree. You have something to say?
I mostly agree. I would only say that I think Yang might have a good tight shot in the top echelon in the middle, only because everyone says he's a one issue candidate, which he is. However, universal basic income, some would say are very needed. And I would say in a city like New York, that could bring a nice core base. Maybe not a winning one, but a nice core one.
I was surprised actually with Catherine Garcia. Someone from Westchester contacted me 2 weeks ago and put her on my radar and listed the facts about how qualified she would be as a mayor with crisis management and other qualifications where she was in charge of sanitation. So I wasn't surprised to see her come out of left field and be one of the front runners. But I'll give Eric Adams one thing. He is consistent. You know, all those other candidates are like this, but Eric Adams is consistent across the board. And that's something to watch out for. Ray McGuire's up there, Sean Donovan's up there spending money, but only Ray McGuire's name is resonating. Sean Donovan appears out the water like, a dolphin here and there, but other than that, those are
he's in the Frog's Neck water.
He's in the Frog's Neck
water, but he doesn't know how to get out of there.
Okay, well, those choppy rivers, Jaws effect. So that's for the mayor's race. Andrew Yang, he's just becoming I guess satire at this point because he's sinking fast in those cold waters. And it's interesting or not, the Asian community actually is kind of splitting now between Eric Adams and Andrew Yang and some other candidates. So we can't really play identity politics anymore with Andrew Yang, especially now that he's using the race card for the anti-Asian hate against him if anybody says anything negative about him now, any format. So New Yorkers,
that's perfect that you brought that up because some were saying in the comments, is Andrew Yang currently right now reaching with everything that he's been doing because he doesn't have a straight policy that people can back him on. So it's race. Is he using race right now to push him forward? And is that the only thing that he has, race, to back him up?
Identity politics goes nationwide as strong. New York, just like when it comes to sports and everything else, we're very tough and critical on ourselves. So New Yorkers are starting to see through him and race baiting, because just like unfortunately with Scott Stringer and Cuomo, consistently crying wolf about these sensitive hot button issues is starting to really fall by the wayside for New Yorkers. And it's like the critical thinking starting to slowly, like two rocks sparking, to light that fire. So people are starting to see through Andrew Yang, and he's going down. And race is not, identity politics is not going to fly. And unfortunately, Me Too stuff is not going to fly as it was. And other matters of discrimination and buzzwords and sound bites aren't going to be working. And we're getting closer and closer to June 12th. June 12th, my birthday, early voting.
Happy birthday.
Mr.
Anthony,
Dion.
Mr. Press, you have something?
Yeah, I do. Ray McGuire is in the Bronx today. If you're such a big fan of his, are you going to be with him? He's down on 150th Street, I believe, at one of the mosques, and then he'll be up in Co-op City a little later. Are you going to be with him like I've been with him the past couple of times?
Sure, if you give me a ride in some of your leftover pancakes, Miss Morning's breakfast, okay?
Well, unfortunately, at 3 p.m., I have to be with the next borough president, Fernando Cabrera. I have a meeting with him and some other people. So, Ray is at 5 p.m., but I'm going to have to do my report from the next borough president. So, what can I tell you? And I was possibly the next 13th council member today at the 49th Precinct Council meeting. She was the only one who showed up, Monique Johnson, believe it or not. All right, I'm surprised that what's her name? I forgot. Miss Lynch, is it? Didn't show up because she's running also. But then again, I was at an event that she had yesterday, and she was missing in action. What happened? She had an emergency.
Just like
the debate last night, she didn't show.
That said, how far about your political business since the last time you skipped this show? Hope your candidate's been treating you well. We haven't seen you in a while.
I don't work for any candidates. Okay, I am covering candidates, and I will have a meeting with Fernando Cabrera and some other people. Okay,
Mr. Press, that was for Dion Powell's question. That was not about the candidates you have, unfortunately. That was for Dion Powell.
Yeah, you muted me, Zonaboo, and Robert Press just told it himself, which is great.
Well, wait a minute, Mr. Powell. Did you go through I work for this guy and this person and that person yet?
No, you see, that's unfortunately, that's what happens when you try to, hog the mic, and try to run to the limelight. I couldn't even answer the question.
Okay, so
in full disclosure,
okay. Now, I'm back on the show, which is great. And there's a lot of candidates out there that I've been, whatever. But I have taken a step back to come back on the show, give my critical POV. And that's what I want to say about that. Now, Robert Press, let me have it.
I didn't get your question.
It was a question?
I have no idea what he said.
It was a question for Dion, which he basically just said more so, it is what it is. We left it as, I'm back. That's all that matters. That was his basic response.
That's right.
If I could just
and
say
about you had to add something to that.
If I could just end the conversation with by saying this, I really feel it's a disgrace, the race itself, where there's a very good possibility that we will have the Department of Sanitation chair be our new mayor, and in my opinion, doesn't even know how to pick up the garbage.
Do you believe that's a concern that you and many New Yorkers share, especially in the times that we're in?
I think many New Yorkers now are looking for, everyone has their pet issue. And then, of course, we validate to that pet issue. I would say one of the overriding issues today is safety and crime. And I think that has brought on a variety of different emotional feelings to people, both young and old. Some candidates have gravitated to that, some have not. Probably the biggest winner of that pool will probably be Eric Adams.
Yeah, that's going to push him over the top. That consistency of public safety is going to push people in his direction. Catherine Garcia, at this point, I think the media too little, too late, and some people might see through that as well as them to push her into the forefront. But we'll see. But like I said, the consistency of Eric Adams is going to be interesting.
Yes, but the media is saying that people aren't trusting in Eric Adams and that's police officers and other people, because the police officers feel that if he gets in, he's going to turn against them and be harder on them than before. So that's why the police unions are worried that if Eric Adams gets in, they see in someone like a Catherine Garcia, a person who has done all jobs, and besides being the head of the sanitation department, Anthony, she was head of NYCHA for a while. She was also with the emergency food relief. She's done every job that she did. I don't think she's going to win.
So out of the three programs that you've mentioned, two of them have failed.
Which two?
Oh,
Which your
obviously sanitation.
Sanitation.
Obviously sanitation. As far as the food program goes, I'll give her a B at best. What was the other one you mentioned?
NYCHA she had for a little while.
Well, I mean, do we have to go any further with that?
Well, that's probably why she got out of it, because she said, I can't do it. So put me elsewhere where I can be more
some people call that a failure.
No, it's, you know what, Anthony? It's called, I have no resources. Like putting you in front of a classroom and saying, teach.
You have no resources. I think Mayor de Blasio has shown that he's very flexible and liberal with his resources.
I mean, why don't you just put Dion Powell in charge?
Okay.
I'm not a candidate anymore, guy. Nice try.
That's not what I heard.
Consultant. Out of the three of us, I'm the only bona fide media person with official New York Police Department ID, media identification.
Certified. You're certainly
Do
certified.
we believe that endorsement and money in this case for the mayoral election is important? Because we've seen several candidates that have spent millions of dollars into their campaign and still are at the bottom of the polls, such as Sean Donovan and Ray. Thank you for that. Such as him and Ray McGuire. So does money matter in politics?
Well, it depends on who has it and who uses it. For example, Eric Adams is using his money very well, and he's being consistent. Maya Wiley, she has some money, and she's up there a little bit. Ray McGuire, Sean Donovan, they just don't have the political name brand and recognition. And some people behind the scenes, I don't want to say, because that's why it's not being very effective.
Ray McGuire is trying to be another Michael Bloomberg. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the resources that Michael Bloomberg had that propelled him into the mayorship. Like I said, Eric Adams will probably be a mayor because this is ranked choice voting. There are several candidates whose votes will drop down to him. All right. It's much like the Bronx Borough president race. Fernando Cabrera is going to be your winner because of ranked choice voting, with or without it, because Vanessa, don't even point to that thing, Anthony. You know what Marco Sierra did to it?
As opposed to these two gentlemen. I just want you to know, as we told you,
Robert Pless said, please put it away.
We support Fernando Cabrera.
Robert Press says, please put that thing away, Anthony. Please put that thing away, okay?
As I was saying, okay, I was asked 7 weeks ago by the Bronx Democratic County Organization, what are the chances of Vanessa Gibson And I said she can't win because of ranked choice voting. She will get 25% and no more, maybe 27, 28%. And Fernando Cabrera will be our next borough president. They were very unhappy with me.
In regards to your question, in regards to the mayor's race and money, the mayor's race, right? That was your original question. I think Sean Donovan is a perfect example to the answer of your question, in that amazingly, for the mayor's race, money doesn't mean anything.
Not when it's an equal playing field, Anthony. Everybody has $5 million. Okay. The only reason Andrew Yang has
News
a
for
little
you,
more.
sir. You're talking to a former Wall Street broker. You'd be amazed how many doors get opened with money.
The only reason Andrew Yang is popular is he's got the Donald Trump syndrome. Donald Trump was so popular because he came from a NBC show, The Apprentice, and people loved that show. They loved him firing people. And Andrew Yang ran for president of the United States, and that's the only reason he's so high in the polls. If he was to come into the polls not having done that, he would be at the bottom.
Well, you gotta give it, how could I say this? Lose to win scenario, just like Jumaane Williams. Eric Adams and Andrew Yang have the same thing. Their popularity for running for office and being pushed into the limelight consistently spilled over into this race. We all knew Eric Adams was going to run for mayor. 2, 3, 4, 5 years black, when Rivieccio and him are going at it in the media, right? Consistent from last year's election spilled over into this race, but now it's on the wane slowly but surely. So that's going downhill. But Eric Adams, once again, is consistent. I'm not going to say he's going to win. I'm just saying he's being consistent, him and his team.
Anthony, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
There's something I've been curious about. What is the true story behind your knockout of the polls as a poll watcher for a candidate about 2 months ago? I'll start with that one first.
I think she's talking about the time, the security had to escort you out the polling sites for, having, potentially being COVID positive. Remember that?
That wasn't 2 months ago.
That was the last year. That was last year's elections.
Yeah.
Is that what you want the answer to? I want to be sure. 2
It
months
would be
ago,
the
the polls
one-
were open for a special election. Nothing like that happened. However, there was an incident over a year ago. Is that what you're asking me?
I would believe so. It was a comment sent in by one of the audiences.
Okay. Again, this was over a year ago, so we're talking the state assembly race. And on the west side of the Bronx, the Bedford Park Norwood section, we were involved in a state assembly race. And what happens on election day, there's an acronym called GOTV, Get Out the Vote. Where both candidates and or
the voice for humanity.
I won't speak for him, but I would think what he's trying to do, because I know he's speaking with his counsel about it, is to formulate it in a way where, you know, A, it's legal, B, fits into their bylaws.
Tony, don't waste time, Tony. They don't even, Mark, the fact is that Jamal Bailey, the Bronx Democratic County leader, I was told that they don't know what the party rules say. They haven't read them. When I complained to them about Marco Sierra breaking 2 election laws in a poll site at Tracy Towers, I was told, well, I don't know what the party rules are. We haven't read them yet. And that's the Bronx Democratic Party rules. I was reading them the New York State Board of Election rules. I think this young lady is talking about the special election and not you. The special election was where I was having a problem at Bronx Science 3 times when I went in there, and the police were called on me. All right.
Oh, is
And
that
I was
what
saying,
you
I
were
can't arrest me. Please,
yeah,
I want to
they
see
say
the
three times.
You want to hear the story, Dion, or not? You want to hear the story?
Yes, it's story
The
time.
first time-
Gentlemen, unfortunately, before we start to run out of time, we'll have another third time next week for this. But still on a Bronx politics, what's your opinion about Councilman Danowitz call on the city to reopen senior centers? Because I know that's an important issue for a lot of people right now because they still feel like it's unsafe, and we do have a new strain in New York City when it comes to the coronavirus.
It's campaign
So what are your
related,
opinions on that? I'll
trying to
start
get
with Anthony.
votes. That's it. Anyone who does that is just trying to get votes. The state will open it when they open it. They have their rules. Whenever Cuomo says open it, they're going to be open. Just like the schools, just like anything else. It's up to the governor. The state legislature gave him broad powers to do everything, and he's King Cuomo right now. And he has been since this pandemic
So
started.
it is the one word, Zainabu, pandering, even though maybe the attention is there, but pandering. I'll second Mr. Press for that. Anthony, over you.
I don't disagree with either of these gentlemen, although I will admit it's a very good idea. I am still very precautious as to what's happening with the city and the state overall. Personally speaking, I don't think we're going to be in that good of a situation come July 4th when our president wants to open up our country like Independence Day movie. And I hope I'm wrong. So is it pandering? Absolutely. Is it a good idea? Absolutely. If he intends on going forward with that, I really hope he does it in the case of Porsche.
See, we all agreed on something. Isn't that nice?
Plus, I have another question. Is there any hope for Oswald Fles to be reelected? I saw that.
Yeah, Oswald, I know too personally, like some other people I was mentioned earlier. I hope he does get reelected because it would be a shame if he lose such a short tenure. But it's going to be interesting now because the problem that he's going to have is the popularity spillage of the media blast of the primary itself existing as a voting timeline and date. Plus, they're getting mail ballots now. The awareness is up. So we'll see if this carries on, or will what people predicted months ago, the concept of voter fatigue will happen to him and he'll lose as a result of that. So he has 2 problems that he's having. But if he's consistent doing community events and activities, like I see him doing with, Gustavo Rivera and Victor Machado and stuff like that, he'll probably be able to use the incumbent's card to win. But it'll be interesting to see him and some others throughout New York City that went through a special election process to see what happens, because they all have the same obstacles.
Are those events in his district or outside his district, like he's doing other events?
I'll need time to pull up the flyer.
Because Gustavo Rivera and Victor Pichardo only cover part of his district, not all of it. So if he's going to be in their district doing events, it may not be very well in his district. Last night, Community Board 11, for the second time in 2 months, called him because he's on there as a community board member. He was the councilman replacing Richie Torres, who was very much involved with Community Board 11. And they called, is there anyone from Mr. Flea's office? and it was dead silence. And they had to go to the next elected official. So he's not doing his job, Dion. He hasn't been out there. I see Eric Dinowitz out in his district. People are talking to him. Everybody sees him, knows him. Oswald Felice, nobody sees him. He's absent without leave.
You know, I think it's going to be, and I'll describe it to you very quickly, the 86th Assembly District, which is in very general terms, from Fremont Avenue, a little further down, going up to Fordham Road, the 86th Assembly District versus the 78th and a little bit of the 80th. The 78th being from Fordham Road all the way to Marshall Parkway. So where does Oswald stand on that? Well, the 86th and the 78th in the special election numbers show that he can maybe carry 50%, maybe a little bit more, but that's a special election numbers. In an overall primary, the 78th has always shown a little bit more strength in numbers. As you go out the course of the Bronx, from all the way down south, all the way north, regardless of who they voted for in numbers, they come out higher and higher and higher. So does Oswald have a chance? Absolutely. He's the incumbent. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the 86th Assembly District and the 78th Assembly District. And if they're tied or this close, the 80th Assembly District, which represents only 10% of the district, of which Aisha Bravo got 35% of, could be the deciding factor.
You're also forgetting one thing. Alyssa Crespo is not in the race, where people said they were mistaking. Are you the district manager of Community Board 7? And I believe we heard Aisha Bravo say they were asking if she was the trans woman. So she's not in that race, Alyssa Crespo. So there will be no questioning of who is who. So Aisha Bravo will get all of Aisha Bravo's votes.
Coincidentally, I'm holding up right now for the camera the event that Councilman Felice will be involved with Gustavo and Assemblyman Victor Richardo in Tremont Park by Arthur Avenue today at 3:30. Okay, so he's doing an event in the district. Thank you.
Didn't Mother's Day pass?
Gentlemen,
It's a Mother's Day event.
Dominican Mother's Day.
Excuse me. We have 5 minutes left, and I just wanted to get on this because Dion Powell, I believe you were the one that was speaking about this on your page on Facebook. And I had a question about that. Going back to the mayoral campaign, what do you have to say about Diana Morrell's campaign staff issue that made headlines this week?
Oh man, I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay, well, Anthony.
No. If I might. Ms. Morales is trying to resolve those issues as we speak. But what I find ironic, I think the answer you're looking for is last weekend, there was basically a revolution within a revolution. Ms. Morales' organization considers her organization a revolutionary cause. Well, some of those revolutionary people that work with her were looking for some rights and liberties within their own revolution. And some staff members received it and some staff members didn't. And there was a very big shakeup. Ms. Morales took the decision, rightly or wrongly, to let some people go. 5 in total, 2 of them from the Bronx. And most of them are actually very high in her campaign. 4 out of those 5 are campaign field directors. So so she basically lost when she made this decision to fire. She basically lost a whole Bronx team. She made that decision because, again, there was this the workers looking for rights and liberties, which I don't blame them because, you know, I tell candidates as well as incumbents all the time, and of course, this is one of the 3 million reasons why they love me so much. I say to them, I'm not going to have you stand on a stage and talk about minimum wage and everybody should be getting $15, $20 an hour, and then you're going to come to me for assistance, well, guess what you're going to pay? You're going to pay the same thing you were preaching.
Yeah,
And as Dion, I'm sure will tell you.
Unfortunately, due to limited time, I did want Powell to speak on this, considering it was more so him that had a lot to say about it. And I just wanted to touch upon that. But so Dion, please, if you can summarize something within a minute,
okay,
we'd
good.
appreciate
All right,
that.
good.
What do you have to say about
Okay, yes, thank you, Honorable. I love Anthony, and thank you for mentioning the New York Free-Thinking Democrats. All right, I'm gonna give you a bochinche, as they say in Espanol. I followed Diana Morales for 2 years because she's emailed her mayoral campaign for 2 years. I met her at an event last year in a park, and I don't take pictures with these people, but I took a picture I put on my social media. I met one of her field directors. She was from Nebraska, and I said, well, you're coming to the Bronx, you need my services, like Anthony said. Oh no, I love field. But as soon as I knew then that you have certain non-New Yorkers, especially non-New Yorkers of color, in high leadership positions in her campaign, it's doomed to failure. Because I saw a few, I'm not involved in her campaign for transparency reasons. I saw a few months ago, there's a complete change in Diana Morales' demeanor. If you ever seen Diana Morales and follow her as long as I have over the year, at least, you see she has a bubble of positive energy, right? But a few months ago, all that positive energy was destroyed. I don't know what happened, but now you'll see it all come out. So this is what I say all the time about campaigns. That's why you have to hire from the ground people like us that look like you, think like you from where you're from, because these other people, let's say what it's for, the white people get the access to leadership positions. And they are obviously getting more money than people on the ground like us in the hood that can knock on doors in the projects, and it's unfair. And so now people like
Dion, if I can correct you, Dion, if I can correct you for just a moment, okay? No, you're absolutely correct. Last year, she had a field team, 5 boroughs of people from out of state. The 2 people she let go as her field directors in the last 2 days are Bronxites.
All I'm going to say
So her decision was a lot harder, than just getting rid of an out-of-state person. Okay.
Anthony, let Press just kind of get in the last word.
All I'm going to say
here,
is I didn't give her any real chance, and that's why I didn't cover her. Period. All right, these 2 monkey mugs were playing with her, trying to get the few pennies they could from her.
Not me.
She gets her money from nonprofit institutions, which is, of course, another issue.
That's
one of the reasons why all of a sudden her face starts turning red.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Next week,
this is
we have to talk about the city council races in the Bronx next week.
There we go. We have a lot more to cover. Next week, we'll be here again with more of our updates and on to reach on questions that we didn't get a chance to get through today. Please don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube page, our Instagram, and our Facebook on Parrot TV. This is The Politics. My name is Saina Bubalde. Thank you for joining us again under Trending New York Election Updates.